Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode of Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up, doing well, got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So we're doing take two, all right? Try to run this video, and if I don't have my Wi-Fi off for whatever reason, this thing will just mess up on me, so I had to turn it off. So anyways, what I was trying to say before the video cut off was listening to a different video today on Flow Wrestling, all right? So my social media channels are a lot of jiu-jitsu and wrestling, stuff like that. So when I'm kind of going through my routine today, I'll click on certain things, and I clicked on a video on Flow Wrestling with Jordan Burroughs. So if you don't know who Jordan Burroughs is, to me, the best wrestler, in this era in the world, all right? And, I just like to hear what people like that have to say, their stories, what they've gone through, their work ethic, just listening to high level athletes or whoever at the highest level. I want to know how they got there. I want to know their story. I want to know, what it took to get there, their downfalls, those kind of things. So in this short little clip, Jordan Burroughs talks about his losses, how he took these losses. Thought he said he had like 6 losses or something like that. And he was saying that he was scared to, wrestle the best guys. And he says, man, I wanted to be the best wrestler in the world. And I had to tell myself, in order to be the best wrestler in the world, I got to go wrestle the best guys. I got to beat the best guys. And how do you do that? You got to prepare the right way to beat the best guys. And he also goes on to say in this video that his dad once told him, whatever you wish for, you got to be able to handle and accept, it when it arrives. Okay, so when your time comes, are you ready for it? Are you ready? Did you prepare like you're supposed to get what you ask for? Whatever you're wishing for, whatever your ask is, are you putting in the right work to accept it when it comes, when it arrives and it's your time? Are you ready to get after it and take it and do something with it? And it just kind of goes with a conversation I had with some of my students yesterday in the locker room after class. And actually, there was a couple conversations I wanted to go over, and maybe I'll do the second part tomorrow. But one of the conversations is one of the guys is a competitor, and wants to compete and has some goals in competition, and we were talking about just kind of what it takes to be at the highest level and the sacrifices that you gotta do. A lot of people will see a tournament or see someone doing something and say, hey, you know what, I would like to do that, or I want that gold medal, or I wanna be here, or I wanna be there. But when it's time to put in the actual work to do so, that's when things get a little shaky. That's when things get a little doubtful. That's when things were like, well, I don't know about that. And that's where, yesterday in the locker room, I was talking about the sacrifices that I made, because it's one thing, we're talking about cutting weight. All right. And, cutting weight is never really any fun. You gotta sacrifice, your weekend foods or your weekend enjoyments, whatever it is that you like to do. Some of the things that you like to eat, they're going to have to be, they're going to have to be cut out. You're going to have to tighten up on some things, because a lot of times when you're competing, you do have to adjust, what you eat and what you drink throughout the week and weeks preparing for stuff like that, especially if you're traveling overseas. Because like I told the guys yesterday, I was like, it's one thing to cut weight and then drive over to Dallas and compete, IBJJF tournament or whatever tournament. And it's another thing to travel and go down to Austin or Oklahoma or somewhere within the state, 3, 4, 5 hours is one thing. But try doing that overseas, in Europe, in Japan, in Australia, in wherever, in these places that I've gone to compete. And I know that when I sign up for something and I see something like a title, because it's always been the titles for me. Like I was chasing titles like, the Pan Pacific title in Australia, the Asian Open title, the European title, the whatever title, I wanted it. And it's one thing to just say, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that, and I want that, but am I going to put in the right amount of work to go and get that? And it sucks. It can get really brutal. It can get, a lot of the times where, you're taking all the things, the enjoyment, the fun things that you like to do throughout the week or on the weekends or times that that you spend with your family. Those things got to get cut out because you got to be disciplined. You got to be committed to the thing that you're wishing for, the thing that you're asking for, the thing that you want. You have to go all in and say, you know what? I just got to do whatever it takes to get there. And the mindset needs to shift. Like, yeah, this sucks, to, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to embrace, this thing. Like I was telling one of my students yesterday, like, once you sign up and you say you're going to do this, the certain sacrifices you have to make and take to achieve that goal. It's not that it sucks anymore. It's that this is what it's going to take to do that. So the mindset has to shift to, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do anything else until I get this thing done. Because that's what I'll get from a lot of students is, once they sign up for a tournament, it could just be anything in life that you want to do. Now you got to actually put in the work for it. Like cutting weight and eating, tightening up your eating habits, healthier foods, more water, less of this, less of that. And it starts to become not as fun anymore because you're taking some of the things that you like to do away. But you have to change the mindset. Like, this is what I like to do. I do like to cut this weight. I do like to eat these foods. I do like to go on these runs. I like to do these extra workouts. I like to stay after class and ask questions. I like to stay after class and do more rounds. I like to stay after class or come to class more and show up more and do more practices and do all these things. I enjoy that, and this is what I want to do. Versus, you don't know how many times over the years that I've had to talk to students to be like, hey, you signed up for this. This is what you asked for. You put yourself in this division. Now we got to go after it and go get the job done. The first job is to make the weight. The second job is to go out there and perform and compete like you know that you can. The problem is, once you're in the grind and once you're putting in the work, it starts to suck, and it's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And I think that's just anything in life that you want to do, period. I'm just using jiu-jitsu as a reference. But anything you want to do that you wish for, once you get into that grind and once it's one thing to get started, but once you're already in it at a certain point, can you stay in it? Can you stay in that mindset that you had when you first signed up for it, or when you first wished for it, or when you first asked for it? Can you keep that going all the way through? And with this being the new year, I know a lot of you are asking or wishing or wanting a different you, or something or something that you want to be different. What are you going to do to do those, to be different? And then when it gets time to get where it's tough, are you going to stay in there and stay in the fight and continue it and see it all the way through? I was another part of the conversation yesterday was I got cookies and cake. So I got a student of mine where, he was just talking about, the holidays, got him, like it takes a lot to get a certain weight down to a certain weight. It could take months, but it only could take a few days to just put all that weight back on, and get you back out of shape. So it can literally take you a long time to get you in shape. But it could take you a one weekend or 1 week of just unhealthy eating habits and laying around not doing nothing to set you back even further than before you started. So I was like, yeah, that was the whole goal prior to the new year, was to keep my students active, to keep pushing, to be in their ear every day, to make them think, hey, like, all year you worked at this, don't let up now. Like, that's what everyone else is going to do. They're going to let up right now. They're going to take time off. They're going to relax. They're going to settle. They're going to stop. And this is when we need to keep things going so that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. So once you start doing stuff like that, that mindset starts to shift. And that's what you need to accept. Like, hey, I asked for this. I wish for this. I want this. And when it gets tough, that's when you embrace it. Like, yeah, I want more of that. No, instead of more of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Your mind starts talking to you when you get weak, when you get hungry, when you get thirsty, when you get tired, you get exhausted, fatigued. You start questioning and doubting your goal. All right. But that's what it's supposed to do. You're being tested. How bad do you really want the thing that you said that you want from the very beginning? It's one thing to see something and get all pumped up and then put it out on Facebook or make a post somewhere else and say, hey, I'm gonna do this. But then now when you're in that grind and it's getting gritty and it's getting tough and you're exhausted and you're sore and tired and you got injuries, are you gonna see it all the way through? And after a while, you'll become accustomed to that. At least for me, I have, where I know what it takes for my body to adjust, to get down to a certain weight or to go through a certain amount of, type of training to get to the goal that I want to get to, being, again, not bragging here. I'm just letting you know, like to Rome, to Paris, to Portugal, Abu Dhabi, Japan, Sao Paulo, Rio, all these places all over the world where I had to to cut weight to compete, because it's one thing to say, like I said, to sign up for a tournament here comfortably at my desk, go on my computer and sign up for something, and then now get up out of my chair and then commit to that goal to go work for it. And then, like I was telling the guys yesterday, I was like, like I said, going back to, it's one thing to cut weight here in town or drive a couple hours, but try doing that when you got to take a 9, 10, 12, 14, 16-hour flight, okay, overseas, and you can't eat the plane food, all right? You got to take your food with you. Then you got to go through customs. Then you got to go find a cab or an Uber. Then you got to go to the hotel, and you still can't eat. And then when you get to the hotel, you unpack, pull out your scale, realize that, hey, I gained a couple pounds from this long flight and I'm tired and I'm hungry. I've probably been up almost, 24 hours. Now I got to go run. Okay. Now I got it. Like I was telling them yesterday, I went to Dublin, Ireland. And when I got off the plane, it was dark. Okay. It was in December. It was a couple years ago. And it's cold and it's rainy and I have no idea where I'm at, but all I know is when I got the scale, and I was a few pounds over, the first thing is you just want to go eat, man. You smell all the food, everything, your senses when you're hungry like that, just get bigger, And so I had to put all that aside and just remember why I came there. Why did I fly here? Why did I do all the things prior to this? And now that I'm here, I made it here. I got to finish the job and get the thing done that I know I'm supposed to get done, which is make the weight. So I got to layer up, put all my stuff on, grab my phone, figure out my route where I'm going to go, and then go running. And then I did a 3-mile run. Again, it's cold, it's wet, it's raining out. It's not really enjoyable, but and like I said, it's nighttime out, so you really can't see anything. You really can't. They did have Christmas lights and all their buildings were lit up and stuff like that, but I had to finish that. Then the next day you wake up and you got to go do it again. Again, it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy. You don't really want to do it, but you got to get it done. And then you go and you make the weight, and then everything else just falls in place. So just to set your mindset at the beginning of the year, because everyone has New Year's resolutions, new goals, new year, new me kind of thing. What are you going to do differently this year? And then understand, when you get into that grind, when you get into that mindset where you're tired, fatigued, sore, whatever, exhausted, don't want to do it, that's when you do it. Okay, that's when you do it. You got to get it done, because that's what it's going to take to get you over that hump or whatever, that wall or whatever it is, that obstacles in front of you. It's on the other side of that. It's on the other side of your mind telling you, hey, maybe we should just go do something else. Maybe we should check out and go find something easier to do. Stay in the fight, see it all the way through. Again, right now, when you guys set goals, when we set goals right now, it's good. It's comfortable. We're in our seats, we're in our chairs, wherever we're at, saying, yeah, I want to do that. Now we got to get up and go and actually do the thing. Okay, like Jordan Burroughs' dad told him, hey, you got to be able to prepare yourself for what you wish for. So that's the message this week or today with the new year. And everyone's all pumped up and trying to change themselves, which you should. You should. No one should be the same. We should always, even at the highest level, there's always something to improve at. So when it gets tough and it gets tired and it gets rainy and it gets cold and it's just one of those days where you just don't feel like it, that's when you do it anyways. That's when you get after it and do it anyways. So prepare yourself now for the suck, for the stuff that's going to be tough, and change it to be like, yeah, I asked for this, I want this, and this is, I like this. This is what I want to do. This is what it's going to take. So then let's do it, you know? So anyways, I just wanted to share a little something because I was sharing that with my guys yesterday because, like I said, I was laughing at them because some of these guys didn't make weight and they drove to Austin. They didn't make weight and they drove to Oklahoma. They didn't make weight and they drove to Dallas, you know, to the Dallas Open, which is in Denton. I don't know why it's the Dallas Open, but you know, they didn't make weight. They didn't make weight. They set a goal, and it's time to cut out the the unhealthy foods and drink more water, and you know, train harder and everything else. And they can't do it, and they can't pull off, you know, something as simple as a few pounds, and then drive to Dallas or Austin or Houston or whatever and make the weight. And I'm like, yeah, man, try doing that overseas and see how that works out for you. You know, try being on a 12, 14-hour flight. Try to fly to Japan, and then when you get there, they have no food that you don't even know what it is. And there's no egg whites, there's no oatmeal, there's no anything that you're used to eating. It's not even available for you anyways, you know. Try handling that stuff. But once you get there, you got to remember, well, why did I fly here? Why did I show up? What you know, we got to finish the job. Let's get this job done, and let's get after it. So whatever your goal is, understand if it's high enough, if it's not costing you anything, if there's really no sacrifice and you're pretty comfortable, then your goal isn't high enough. Your goal isn't big enough. You need a bigger goal, you know, because it should suck. It should pull something else out of you that you didn't really know you had in you until you get to that point, you know. So anyways, guys, got to finish the rest of my day here, finish the rest of my morning. So you guys get after it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.